Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gypsy Caravan. I'm Shan. How you doing? Simple but very glam sort of makeup for beginners, and piggyback the look on the fact that I'm going to dinner tonight. Also, my brows are skew. I am well aware. I tried fixing them today and well, it was a situation. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on social media. I am down here on these handles, and yeah, let's get into it. So as you'll see, I've already got my foundation down, obviously my brows down already. I have primed my lids as well, just so that we can really focus on getting glam. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put in a transition color. I am going to be using a bronzer to do this. I did this in the previous video where I did 30-minute natural makeup for beginners. Sorry, I had to think what I did there for a second. So we're going to do something similar because, again, I want to show you how you can use your products to the most or the best of their abilities. Okay, the bronzer I'm going in with today is my Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, and I'm going to take that on a big fluffy brush. The reason why, oh my gosh, the reason why I like using a bronzer as a transition shade is because bronzers, you just stick in the crease right here and then go back and forth. Bronzers are quite sheer as it is a face product, so they're not as pigmented as an eyeshadow. But also using your bronzing shade will create just a really natural shadow in your crease to help blend out the rest of your eyeshadows later. So it's not like a super intense color. If you don't have a lot of eyeshadows or you don't have access to a lot of eyeshadows, using your bronzer as a transition shade is just a very easy cheat to getting this contour down in your eye. So this is just what we're going to do for now. We are just going to work this color in the crease from inner corner to outer corner using very light pressure so that the big fluffy brush can do all the work of diffusing the color. Get it in back and forth, and then you can always just use circular motions to kind of buff it out and diffuse it out. Okay, I'm going to keep the look quite warm tonight. Just so you know, I'm going in with one of the small Morphe palettes that I have from the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. I know Morphe's going through a lot right now, but it's like one of the palettes I can use to just keep this pretty easy to explain and keep like the products minimal. But anyway, so get yourself a warm sort of eyeshadow like this brown here. It's sort of kind of in the middle. It's not super dark like that, and it's not super light like the bronzer we have in our crease already, kind of in between. This is Smooth Criminal, by the way, from the Armed and Gorgeous palette that she has. And then just using that same fluffy brush, we're going to pick up a little bit of that brown, and we're going to put it in the crease again, but we're going to keep it quite low this time, and we're not going to take it as far up. So find your crease, which is there for me, and then just very lightly work this back and forth again from outer corner into the inner corner. Work in circular motions, buff it out back and forth. I'm using a very light pressure, by the way. And what this color is going to do is it's just going to deepen up the crease area ever so slightly so that we have just the tiniest bit of depth or more depth in that crease area. So just kind of work that back and forth. I'm going to stop here because I'm happy with the depth of this shadow. You can go in and diffuse it a little bit more with that bronzer, but I am quite happy with how this looks. I'm just going to soften out that edge a little bit more. If you want, you can go a little bit darker, but I'm going to stop right there. Okay, we're going to keep in with the same eyeshadow, but we're going to swap out to a slightly smaller brush. This is a 217, and then just picking up some of that eyeshadow and tapping off the excess, we are going to just put this in the outer corner of the lid area so that we have a little bit of dimension there as well. Just push it in first to get off all the color product that you need, and then turning the brush to its flat side, we're just going to shimmy this into the crease. We're not going to take this too high up. We want to keep this quite low in the outer corner of that lid, and then just ever so slightly wing it out like so. Going back in with that brush, you can either pick up more bronzer if you wish, more of that Smooth Criminal. I haven't picked up anything. I'm just going to buff out that shade so that it is a little bit softer and that we don't have any harsh lines. So now we're going to go deeper still. I'm going to avoid black today because black is a really hard color to work with. It's really intense as well, and I feel like for like a really easy like glam look, dark brown is so much more beautiful than black. So my light has seemed to disappear. But anyway, so we're going to take a dark brown like this. We are still going to use that small blending brush, and we are just going to pick up a little bit of that. The one I'm using is called Prowl, and we're going to stick this just on top of that first shade that we put on the outer corner, but we're going to keep this in right in that corner. We're not going to move it up, we're not going to move it in. We're going to keep this on the outer corner using the tip of that blending brush, and we are just going to just extend that out and up so that we lift the eyes slightly, almost as if you're creating a wing but not really. So just with light little tapping motions, just slightly drag out that dark brown, and then go back in with that fluffy brush and blend it all out. Just use circular motions to kind of diffuse and soften all the harsh lines like so. A little bit more just because I over blended that a little bit, so we do that. This is pretty much where your eyes should be at this point. You can always go in with a little bit more of that dark brown to make it really deep and intense, but I'm gonna leave it right here just because, well, this is where my comfort zone is when it comes to like easy glam sort of looks. Okay, so let's move on to a lid. I'm going to be taking some of this, it's a bronzer, but it's a highlighter. It's the same one I used in the previous video, and I'm going to use this to highlight the eyes, and I'm going to use it as a lid color. So I'm going to go in with a flat packing brush and some of that product, because it's quite shimmery and glitters and textures like that are really great for the evening. This one is quite metallic, it's almost pigment like. Yep, there we go. We focus so you can see what's going on. So this is just a really pretty shade or product to use on the lid. It's going to create some of that really nice shimmer and dimension, and it's quite metallic, so you've got that glamour aspect. You can always go in with like a glitter if you want, or a more intense pigment if you want. It's totally up to you what you put on your lid at this moment. Just keep it in that inner corner and sweep it across and just tap it into that dark brown, because we don't want to lose the dark brown, of course. Just get that in the inner corner, and then again taking that small brush with whatever brown is left on. You don't have to pick up more, you can just blend that brown back up on itself, just so that we don't have any harsh lines where we can tell like, oh, that's where the brown and the gold separate or meet or whatever. We want to keep it quite diffused and very gradient-y, for lack of better English. And then going to pick up that big blending brush, pick up a little bit of this highlighter, and we're going to use that in the brow bone area as well, just to highlight. This is also what keeps your looks quite cohesive, because then you're not using extra products, number one. Number two, you're using the most out of your products, and you don't have to go searching for a shimmery shade to highlight with when you've got a pretty good one at your disposal. My gosh. Cool. And then just make sure everything is blended, and then we're going to quickly finish up underneath the eyes. So whatever we have on the top, we're just going to mimic down at the bottom here, starting with your bronzer, going into the dark brown eyeshadows. Keep all the dark shadows on the outer corner, lighter eyeshadows in the inner corner. I'm just explaining now because I'm going to speed through this section. I'm going to show you, but I'm going to speed through it. There we go. So those are my eyes, obviously, but this is what your eyes should look like at the end. I did pop a little bit of that highlight in the inner corner as well, and well, yeah, just diffused everything. Just realized now that this side's out a little bit further than that side, so let me just fix that real quick. Just backing up a bit just so that you can see what's going on. Oh, mascara. I need to put mascara on. If you want, you can do false lashes at this point. Totally optional, up to you. If you have done liquid liner before, also optional, you can totally do that as well. I'm just going in with some Fenty mascara. I normally skip the liner sometimes, just because I feel like I can close up my eyes a little bit when I am doing something heavy like this. Also just because I really like a heavy eyeliner, a really thick eyeliner rather, and sometimes I can just take over the entire lid and then you don't actually get to see the eye makeup. So I'm gonna skip on the eyeliner, but obviously, of course, if you want to and you feel like you have mastered eyeliner on yourself, I'm speaking liquid eyeliner, then you can totally go ahead and do that. I feel like if you are really new to makeup and are a little bit scared of the liquid liner and pencil liners and stuff like that, you can totally skip it. It's not a problem. This still looks very evening esque, or like glam rather, is what I'm actually trying to say. Them up, and it's going to make you look more awake and more glam appropriate. Okay, moving on to bronzer, contour, that sort of vibe. I'm going to do a bit of both with that bronzer we used in our transition shade in our crease. I'm just going to take it on an angled brush. This sort of bronzer is quite a cool tone bronzer. Well, it's not cool tone, but it's a cooler tone than the other bronzers that I have. So I'm going to use it to do a bit of a bronzing situation. Just going to push that in and then blend up to lift my face and just sculpt it out. I'm going to push a little bit into my forehead. Just to even out the color of this foundation, because I feel like I just don't know what color I am in foundation anymore. Most of my foundations are coming up either too light or too dark, and I just don't have an in between right now, which really sucks. Sculpt, I am going to do a little bit down my nose as well, just to sculpt out there, and then just the tiniest bit down around my jaw. I have a very round face, so I need all the angles I can get. Okay, so we're going to move on to highlighter now that we've got our bronzer contouring shade down. I'm just like buffing that up. I'm just going to use a Smashbox brush, that same highlighter we used on our eyes, and I'm just going to pop this pretty much kind of all over the place. just because I want like not only just an overall glow, sorry, not just only to highlight my face, but I also want like an overall glow. So I'm just gonna push this in on the high planes of my face and like actually go over that bronzer so that I have that really nice glow. I'm gonna do a neutral lip just because my eyes are pretty heavy and I kind of want that to be the focus for the face, for the entire look. So I'm gonna do a neutral to nude lip. Going in with a nude pencil. This is just Spice by MAC. And I'm just gonna line my lips with this, obviously. I'm also going to fill my lip in with a pencil because that will just create longevity in the way of my lipstick and my lip gloss. Especially if you're like going out and you're going to be eating and drinking. This is just going to ensure that your lip color lasts the entire night. So I'm going to fill in my lip with this pencil. Okay, I'm going in with a nude lipstick. This is just old collection from MAC, but you can use any nude lipstick that you have and just fill in, obviously. And then I'm also just going to go in with a lip gloss. This is an old Mineralize one from MAC. You will definitely not find this, but it's the only nudish gloss I have that's not a lip plumper. And I'm just going to place this in the center of my lips. Just for that glossy shine. Okay, and there we have it. This is the completed look. You can totally do this in 30 minutes if you're pressed for like a really pretty glam. I mean, I don't look really glamorous right now, but if you're pressed for like a glam look in a pinch, you can totally achieve this in 30 minutes. It's easy. You don't need a lot of tools, a lot of makeup. Your skill set doesn't need to be that high. If you're an absolute beginner, you can totally achieve this for yourself at home and look super glam for your next dinner event or for like your next date. This is definitely doable and very easy, as you can see. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I hope you really enjoyed it and learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give me a like and a follow. Also, any products and brushes that I have used in today's video, I will list down in the description box below. So don't forget to check that out if you want some product recommendations. And I will see you in my next tutorial. Thank you again for watching, and don't forget whenever you can to refer the Gypsy Caravan. Bye!